Well,
Oh,
damn, Reggie.
You talked
Well,
about that dude on it. You talked about that dude on it. How about you? How y'all feel about
Nah.
um, I've tried it before.
it? Mm-hmm.
For me, it isn't about necessarily the act. It's about the relinquishing of power
Mm,
and yeah, it's about the relinquishing of power and being submissive in that moment. So it don't even
mm-hmm.
have to be anal. It just, it's that. But I've done it before. It was all right. But it was deeper than just no pun intended. It was deeper than just that act. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I just,
Miss Shay.
Um, no. Mm-mm.
Mm, okay.
Mm-mm.
Mm, no
Mm-mm.
tongue action.
Something should not fit in
Oh,
certain
oh,
I'm
No tongue. No
I'm
no tongue action.
oh.
so are you asking if she tossed salads?
no, he
No, I'm
said
talking. I'm asking
have I
if she had it. Yeah, if she had it.
you know
She's like, oh, I did not know you gonna be asking it like this.
I have
Prepare for this one.
Yeah,
yeah
yeah, yeah.
yeah
She
What
done
you
met her
said about
match.
that, Shannon,
Her. She
remember what
met
you
her
said about
match.
that
Her.
current one?
Prepare
She
for
done
this
met her
one.
match. She's like,
Remember what
oh,
you said about that
okay.
current one? Like I liked it. I like
That's what's up. That's what's up. Look at she got the hair. Look, she playing with the hair and everything. Yeah, I like
hmm
that one. I remember that. Well, you wait. You hold that story right there because we at the part of the session of Bad Bourbon and Cigar where we put some
That's
smoke in
that
the air,
part of the section.
and when we put some smoke in the
That's
air,
that part.
He said we
no,
passed that
no, no, we ain't pass it because I ain't say it. When we put some smoke in there.
I
You
know.
get to tell us a story. Uh, that you and Miss Fancy done been in or you know of, being that it was funny and different, or bone chicka bone bone that we don't know. Only thing we ask is that you don't put nobody in prison. You know what I'm saying? You can give names or you don't have to give no names.
Don't
no
give no names if you share one of my stories, but you can share whichever one you know.
hmm I will tell you something that Flo she will tell you, oh, I'm open to poly. She's lying to y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth.
Oh,
Lion. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've been her friend long enough. I can tell you that poly stuff in her.
mm-hmm.
I said,
You don't think so?
girl, come on, seriously. You don't you don't like sharing things. So come on. Let
Mm-hmm.
keep it 100.
You don't think I could be
Yeah.
poly? I think I could. I
It
have
takes a
been,
strong woman to be that. It takes a
but I
strong
I
It
woman.
feel like
does.
I have been. I've been doing that. So
No, no,
what
no.
I
No,
What
like
I'm
you've been
saying
doing
is,
no, you've been doing it without your knowledge.
okay,
Okay, that's a little different.
okay.
Okay. But knowingly, nah. I remember she was telling me, oh yeah, I think I could be poly. I think I could be a sister wife or what. And I'm thinking to myself, she done lost her damn mind. No, she no, she can't. This is the same woman who is like, I just enjoy his company and I like, at the time we spend together and I can't wait for the Flo floats among the clouds
I
when
do.
she's in love.
We've
And
talked about this.
I mean, you got to
well,
tell her uh, establish boundaries in the beginning. This is what this is. Because if you don't do,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna float above
Yeah.
the clouds.
well,
And
that's the thing,
one
though.
one situation, I remember this one guy who shall remain nameless, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think his wives knew about Flo.
I don't think they did.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lied to her. He baited and switched on her. Um, and when I talked to her, um, I flat out tell her I don't like this nigga. I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mhm.
know. Um, and unfortunately, he's from my understanding, he's somebody who is in an organization that I belong to as well.
Mm.
So
Actually, in your lodge.
yeah, he's one of my lodge brothers. But I just I couldn't. I was just like, Flo, this is not you. You don't
Mhm.
you don't like sharing. You like you'll share like, oh, that's cute. You can borrow my sweater. But are you really gonna let somebody borrow your wear your drawers
Oh,
and
spend
put them
time
back
on my
and you
drawers.
put them on? So the whole poly thing in her, no. Mm-mm.
I think I mean, I hear her, but I hear her. But I think that I can be poly if presented with the right arrangement. I don't know. We'll see.
Now, when you say you think you can, and she's saying she don't think you can, I can hear two different ways. I can hear like a hard poly or a soft poly. And it's kind of like Shannon is saying you cannot be a hard poly, which all of y'all stand in the same house. Everybody know each other.
Oh, no,
And you're
I'm with
saying like a soft poly. I have my own house, and you come as Herb called him the Easter Bunny the last podcast we had, that he can only come
oh,
like 3-4 times a year.
Shannon, you know who the Easter Bunny is now?
Oh,
Uh, how can I describe it? Remember that time we all went and hung out and we all came back to my house? The person that came over, that's the Easter Bunny.
that's the okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes, plenty.
Yep. So that's who Herb now calls the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus.
So
Santa Claus.
which poly you trying to be? Flo, you trying to be a hard poly or a soft poly? You think you be a hard or soft?
I think I could be a soft poly because what I like about the poly situations that I've been presented with is that I have freedom of choice to participate as I want to. There's no, because the gentleman in question we were talking about, he has two wives. And although it looks like to us now that they knew nothing about me, I like that I had the freedom to kind of come and go as I please. But what I didn't like though was that he was trying to enforce all these boundaries on me about who else I could see
Mhm.
outside of this situation. But I felt like your situation is sketchy. Like you're not being fully transparent. So I'm gonna go over here and do this until you figure it out. And he didn't like that I would go out on dates with other people or go see other people, or he didn't like Easter Bunny. He was jealous of the Easter Bunny. But I'm like, well, hell, you got 2, 3, 4. Well, I can't have my one. You know. I also don't think that he had the stamina to be able to provide that service for 3 women or more. So there's that.
Hey, only way you gonna know is till you try.
I mean,
So I had to tag in the
Wow.
Easter Bunny pretty frequently because he.
Hey, Herb, I guess
he
he
a
wasn't on
shortcut.
no DMX then. He ain't had the stamina, bro. Wow.
He
He
likes
is
to
I
listen to
mean,
Rick Ross, but
you know, you like peanut butter and jelly till you try peanut butter and jelly. So let me try it first.
Mhm.
Hey, I like
yeah.
my
So I
eggs
was
three
just
But
ways
there was also
till I
some
try.
other. What was it, Flo? There
mm,
was also a question that came into play about if he was truly heterosexual or if he was
yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
Wait a minute now. Y'all talk about one of my brothers now. I mean, I don't
Well,
know
I
him, but y'all talking about
mean,
one.
if you knew him, you wouldn't claim this.
Mm.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about him this whole time. I don't want to trash
Okay,
him anyway. But
Yeah, we ain't trash. We're not trashing nobody. We just telling stories. We telling
we
stories.
just
I mean,
sharing
truth
stories.
is truth. I mean, it is what it is. But there were rumors that he might have liked to dibble and dabble. You know,
You keep choosing the wrong type of dudes. Well,
I've
y'all choosing the wrong type
I've
of dudes.
turned
Wait a
over a new
minute.
leaf. I choose differently now. You
Oh,
know,
good. So what's y'all ideal of safety in a relationship? Since y'all talking about that, what's safety? What would be a safety thing? What's safe in a relationship for you?
Mm.
emotional safety or just all kinds of safety.
All. We put it all in the basket.
Definitely
Whichever one you choose.
when someone allows you to bare your soul and still
Mm.
all your flaws.
Mm.
That
Mm-hmm.
and to create that safe space of we listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, um, when a man is transparent, when I don't, you're giving me information that I'm not even asking you for. I
That
just
I
said,
didn't think to
how's
ask
your
you
day
for
going?
either.
And you're telling me
Yeah.
how the day is going and what you have going on and what you have planned for the day or the weekend or whatever. Um, Men who are intentional
Yeah, that's a good one.
When you're intentional, because one thing about a man is he's going to pursue you. If he wants you, he's going to pursue you. He's going to show up. I cannot stand the what are you doing it, dude? Every day, what are you doing? What are you doing? All day long, what are you doing? I'm paying goddamn bills. That's what I'm doing. DT Energy is a whole damn gangster out here. And the water department is right behind them. So
Mhm.
what are you doing me? I'm paying bills. I gotta you wanna put something on this car note? What you got?
Because they over here tag teaming me.
I don't want to be on the strongest soldiers list, God. I want to be off that here. But you
Mhm.
know, they I feel like some men are looking for women. It's like the roles are changing.
They
This is so
reverse.
crazy now, the society that we live in with the things that are happening. These men are actually looking for women to take care of them.
And pursue them and
And
court them. And
I got to send you flowers. I got to take
Woo,
you.
woo,
now here's the thing though,
woo.
Shannon.
Most
I don't
guys feel
mind
like
taking a
getting
man
hooked
to
up.
dinner. The flower situation depends. I don't know. I don't understand why a man would want flowers, but it depends on the situation. Maybe if he's like a performer, I don't know. I will figure out something else. But I
Come
don't
here.
mind taking a man to dinner. I don't mind paying for things. However, if you're interested in me, you need to start that because at some point I'm gonna feel like, oh, well, he did this. Let me do this. I'm an amplifier. That's the thing. The term I like to use. I'm an amplifier. I'm a multiplier. Like whatever you deposit, I'm gonna multiply it. So if you're coming in with all this good energy and you're courting and you're pursuing, I'm gonna naturally return the favor, you know. But if you ain't doing shit, I'm gonna be looking at your ass like,
And that's where we differ.
Mhm. Go ahead,
Because,
explain.
okay, the reason why I say that's where we differ is because I know what I bring to the table. I know I am the table in most cases. My thing of it is what no man matter of fact, I'll go back. There was a gentleman, he came out to meet me, and um he and I really didn't vibe that well, but I was like, okay, well, maybe he was just nervous or whatever. So later on in the conversation, he's a skilled tradesman for one of the big three. And he asked me, what do you bring to the table?
I remember him.
Mm.
He got mad at me because I said, that is giving a lot of feminine energy for you as a man to ask me that.
Mm.
No man should be asking a woman, what do you bring to the table? Especially if you can see that she's very well kept. She's done, she speaks intelligently. She is the table. And if you have to ask, then that's something you're looking for her to fill something that you have as a void as a man. And I just, he got upset because I said, that's a lot of feminine energy.
So
Yeah.
I look at he posed that question to you wrong. So it should have been a different way to figure out that question. I
You know,
don't think he was looking
Herb, you're absolutely correct. What he should have asked me is, are you nurturing? Are you loving? What is your love language? How do you want to be loved?
mm-hmm.
If you and I were to hit it off, what are some of the things that you would like to do with me?
Or
Mm.
for me.
Start off with that conversation. What's
It's
happening?
been intentional. Been intentional, like you
Intentional.
said.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know a man right now. He is 52, getting ready to turn 53. He stepped to me and was like, I really like you, this, that, and the other. I said, okay. And he says, so what's up? What's up? I said, plan a date.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't date. I don't date. Oh, you're into little sleazers. You like hot and readies. Okay. No,
Ain't nothing wrong with them too. Ain't nothing wrong with them too.
I mean, if you like cheap meals, you just like cheap meals. I don't.
Sleazy.
I'm gonna date something of, you know, at this point, at this big age that we all are at this point of life, I feel like we should be dating quality.
Hmm.
Everything
Absolutely.
must be of quality
Yeah,
because dealt with, we've had that transition in our lives already. We've already had that
yeah,
chapter.
yeah,
Yeah.
Who wants to waste time?
I was just having a
Absolutely.
conversation a couple of days ago with a friend about that, just saying like we're looking at 50. Like
Yeah.
on a good day, we got maybe what 30 more years.
And
We
see,
don't have time to
I'm
play.
already there. I'm already there. So I don't have time to waste. So when I
I'm
red
go ahead.
flag, I give the Irish goodbye. You'll look up and be like, oh my God, she's gone. Yeah, out of here. I don't even have to make any announcement. You know what you did wrong.
I think that guy that asks, what do you bring to the table? If I was using my therapy mind,
Hmm.
he's been hurt in the past before. He probably was that guy that gave his all and was doing everything and was like, "Hi, damn, she didn't bring shit to this motherfucking table. It's always me." So his thing in his head, the next person I fuck with, I'm gonna ask her from the jump, what the fuck you bring to this table?
That
So maybe he just ran into the wrong woman to say it with.
Listen, Reggie, that's what's funny. So he asked me, so as we're getting to know one another further on down the conversation, he tries to switch subject.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned to me that you were married. How long were
Mm-hmm.
you married? And I heard a tone in his voice. I said,
Mm.
hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so
Yeah.
you guys were married for over 20 years, almost 30 years. Why did y'all divorce?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want, he was like, well, what does that have to do with the question? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bring it down, young man. I need to know. I need to see all aspects. You felt comfortable asking me what I bring to the table? I'm asking
Right.
you to
Right.
cheated on me. Ah, there it is.
Yep.
There it
Yep.
is.
Yep. That's it. That's it.
Still hurt.
You know.
Men
You,
don't handle
Mhm.
but
infidelity.
see, that's the thing though. And we say this as women to each other. We hold each other accountable in a different way because we'll say to one another, "You're not ready to date yet. You need to get somewhere and kind of figure out some things and heal. Know what you like, know what you don't like before you go back out here. Just hold on,
Yeah.
just heal." Men, y'all are completely different. Y'all minds are wired different. It's what's the best way to get over a woman? To get on top of another.
Another one. Yep.
Well, that's because it's taught. These are learned behaviors. You know, not only that is that our nature is to give, right? It's the animal kingdom. Is to try to get as much as you can. Not only that, when we're young men growing up, it's difficult for us to navigate to each woman and all that kind of stuff because we don't know if we're gonna get it or not. So as much as we can get, we're gonna try to get it. I'm just talking to just people that's out there that's listening. You know what I mean? Because this is not everyone that I'm talking about. I'm just talking about how the mind is working. So is I got to get on to the next one. Got to get on to the next one. We're not taught those emotional cues and things like that. Well, wait a minute. Let me get myself together. Let me find out who I am. Let me find out what I really want in my life. So when you was mentioning about a person who say they don't date, I say that all the time to this day. But it's a reason why. See, if you come back and say, well, what's your reason? See, now I know that you intellectually with me and we can have conversations. So this is why I don't date. Because when I date, I'm intentional. I'm showing up to come pick you up. We're not meeting no motherfucking way. You can't meet me if we're dating. As soon as you say, no, I'll meet you there, well, then we're not dating, we hanging out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm bringing flowers, candy, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to plan this date.
Mm-hmm.
You are. I want to see that you see that I put some thought into what we did tonight, and not we just went to the park, girl, and oh really? The park was not about the park. The park was really to spend time with you, to get to know you, to talk with you, to understand you. So now, how you act in that, then I know how to handle you for the rest of this duration. All right. So when I say I don't date, That's just me saying when I do date, that means I'm coming to get you. I'm picking you up. I got on clothes. I like to dress. It's gonna be suit on, the hat on, everything from the toe.
Oh,
You
Mr.
know what I mean?
Rich.
That's what I mean. So you're not coming with me with no summer dress on if we dating. If we going to date, we going to a black and white ball somewhere like that. You know, black tie situation.
Mhm.
So maybe he meant that. I don't know.
You know what? The thing is that um, men right now, again, mental health needs to definitely be spoken more often in our Black community, um,
Absolutely.
as well as mothers. Um, we can only do so much, but mothers, teach your sons how to open doors. How,
Right.
um, because one thing about it is women, we love our men to be of service to us.
Mhm.
Like when you're walking, are you putting me on the inside of, on the inside so that, I'm safe? Are you making sure that I'm crossing the street in a safe way? Are you making sure that my chair is pulled out? You have to understand, my parents grew up in the 1960s. My mother was born in 1946. My dad was born in 1945.
Mhm.
So my grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
that whole thing of um, family dynamic or a man or a woman actually going out and getting a job, that didn't start really until my mom and my dad became adults. We still had the husbands that they went out and worked, and the wives stayed at home.
Mm-hmm.
So any money that my grandmother was a hairdresser. My grandfather had like two and three different jobs. And one of his trades of profession was he was a barber as well in the house. Any money my grandmother made from her clients, he never touched that money.
Mhm.
Paying
That's right.
bills, my grandmother didn't know she knew how to pay bills, but she didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So when men don't understand, you got to take a moment to get to know your audience. Know how to properly present information, because when you have a woman that has been raised in two-parent households where she's seen what love looks like. My grandparents were married for over 53 years before my grandmother passed away. And took care of them. My grandfather, he literally showed me what it was to be loved unconditionally,
Mm-hmm.
because he was the one who had to dress my grandmother, comb her hair, get her ready for the day, and cook for her. Because at a certain point, she became ill, and he took care of her. That's what these men are lacking right now. They don't know how to take care of women. And Black women, to me, I don't know if y'all are going to agree to this, but we are the most disrespected women on the face of this earth. People think
I,
that we don't have value. We absolutely.
I can say I can see why, but there's a double tongue to that. What you're saying, the double
Mm,
tongue to that is that, well, first of all, men are not taught. You have to be taught that, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go into that in a minute. But when I'm talking about the double tongue is once we started as a man, especially as a young man myself, growing up, you know, and I'm gonna say from my vision,
mhm,
being the good guy did not get me the girl that I wanted or any girl that I wanted. Being nice, being that guy who you talking about. Most of those guys that's out here that's doing that, women be like, oh, he's too nice. But when we see that y'all going for the bad boy, the one
mm.
that's gonna call you a bitch, call you out your name, slapping up on you, and
Ooh,
doing all out here, you know what I'm saying, got 5, 7 different baby mamas, but he can lay with you, don't have to work, he can drive your car, you put money in his pocket. When we see that, and those are the prettiest girls that's doing this, we
Mm-hmm.
like, well, shit. Why am I sitting out here trying to be a good guy and can't get nobody when they really attracted to those type of guys? So we start
mhm,
to emulate those type of guys, even though that's not who we really are. You know
But
what I mean? So
Reggie,
go
hold on.
ahead.
I gotta interject just momentarily. Um, I'm real old school when it comes down to respect and things of that nature. I try not to um, disrespect anybody because I think again we tackle things on a daily basis. We all have our obstacles and challenges. That word that you just said, bitch, that's an Flo. What's my nickname?
Yosemite Sam.
I don't-
She don't play about that word.
Mm-hmm.
if you really listen, if you really want to see my me lose my cool, let a man call me that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it every time because keep your family names out of your mouth when you're talking to me. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
call your sister, your mama, whatever. That's that you save that conversation with them. But for me, you gonna be correct.
But see, you
That-
come from that strong family. You come from that strong family background. But
right?
think about this generation. It's it's only about a generation and a half under mine, where the women calling each other bitches. You calling each other bitches in the household, and your son is growing up listening to this.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What you think he gonna do when he grow up? That's what he think it is. He think it's just cool.
Yeah.
That's and it's funny that you said that word because that's my word as well. Now I'm feeling like I'm a better person now in life, and I'm thinking I'm trying not to make sure that that word is not the word that take me to that because that's because it haven't happened. But
For,
that right there,
for a man, okay. So let me tell you a story. I had a man who had a drinking issue, and every time he would drink, this word would come out.
mm,
And I'm of the mindset that a drunk tongue speaks a sober mind.
Hmm.
Okay.
mm-hmm,
So I'm listening to you refer to me as this word to other people. I'm hearing you
mm,
talk this crap. But when I call you one,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm,
You understood all of that, huh?
you can't take that. Then watch your
mm-hmm,
mouth to me. I
mm-hmm.
don't I don't I don't try to disrespect anybody. Again, I respect a person, respect the boundaries. Person had the audacity to try to tell me again, because some people are narcissists. I get it. To tell me that I'm wrong by call, I was so wrong by calling them out of their name. But when you was calling me that name, you was cool with it.
Yeah, you were
Right.
saying it with your chest.
Even when I told you, please don't do that. I love you. Please don't do that. You still didn't respect the boundaries, and I think that's what we need to get back to. We are so lost right now. I'm looking at these young men walking around, pants darn near around their ankles. What's
And
the
skinny
purpose of
pants
putting them
too.
on? Yeah, I mean, we
Typing in hot grease on chicken.
and women out here so scantily dressed that
Mm-hmm,
there's nothing to the imagination. You're showing it all.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
I absolutely hate that they have made certain leggings that are kind of like see-through because you didn't stretch them to try to fit your size, and they're
That's
not.
right.
And now I can
That's
see
right.
straight through them. I can tell whether you have undergarments, whatever. And tell what do you think I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll go a step further because I think more men need to vocalize this to women. How do y'all feel about these fake big eyelashes and where they can't even open their eyes? You can't even see their eyes because their eyelids are so
Too
heavy and
much,
thick eyelashes.
too much. I mean, like that's too much. I mean, it got to the point where women are getting their butts and hands. That looks terrible too. But dudes are doing it too. Dudes are doing stuff to make themselves look better than what they actually are.
Low
Um,
self-esteem. Low
yeah,
self-esteem.
that's all
Mhm.
it is. I
Body
mean,
done.
yeah. So,
See, see, me, I don't like fake anything.
mm-mm,
Right? I
that,
get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like weave. I don't like wigs, eyelashes, none of that shit. To me, if you are a beautiful person, you are a beautiful person.
mhm,
You know what I mean? And you don't need all of that. Now, if you want to do something to enhance you or something like that, cool. But don't put too much where I damn that ain't the same person I went to bed with.
right,
Who are you? That type, them those four
right,
different, you
Yes.
know what I mean? You don't
Right.
need all of that with me. But and I say that, and some people have fought back on me when I say, like, well, you dated people that had, well, I say, yes, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's
Mhm.
going to come back down to me. And this is what it come down to me with weave and wigs. It's going to mess up your hair, your natural hair, and your scalp. Some at some point, when that happens, now you feel bad about yourself because your hair is not good or not looking good. And when you feel bad about yourself, now you're depressed. When you are depressed, now you don't want to go out, you don't want company, you don't want to make love, all of these things. So now I have to suffer because you want to wear a fucking wig. No, no.
I like red.
So just take your time, get your hair together, get it healthy, all that, let it grow. It might take some time, but just like with anything else in life, if you really want it, take your time. And in time, it's gonna be great. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Lady
I
girl got her body did, huh? That's funny.
You want that booty? Get in the gym a little bit. Matter of fact, we ain't gotta go to the gym. Sit right here, do a thousand squats a day in the crib. Every commercial, come on, I'll get up with you. We're gonna squat together. You know
But
what I'm
she
saying? We're gonna get
might touch
healthy
your booty
together.
up.
and I think
Huh?
I
one
said,
thing.
but you won't let nobody touch your booty. If you doing squats, you about to build your booty too.
I probably will be building my people be talking about you, Reggie, you got a booty. I don't hear that shit. You tell me that shit.
You got some cakes.
Okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that, again, where do you guys think, in terms of health and fitness, because,
Mm.
and when we talk about the different foods and everything, and I just again see different changes in our own cultural dynamic of how we're more prone with diagnosis of like ADHD, um, psychological issues, bipolar, um, all of these things. I think they're stemmed within our foods. What do y'all think?
Well, it is. It's not that it may be, it is. So you have taste and you have sight. Once they figure out that everything runs through our five senses, most of the food is factory made. And when it's factory made, they've already learned how to make things taste what your eyes think it's supposed to taste like. So that's already in it. It's chemically induced. Not only that, it's in the air, it's in the soil, it's in our clothes. There's a documentary that came out and they were talking about the DuPont plant and the chemicals that they was putting in that thing that already causes cancers and all of that kind of stuff. So the different dyes that's in the food, those things causes ADHD. I'm not for sure if they did it on purpose because there's power and money in medicine because we have to get on medicine when we have these things.
Mm,
Uh, but it's there, it's in everything, and we can't not eat because we have to survive. We
Right.
cannot. I mean, we can walk around without no clothes back in the day, but that's not what we do nowadays. You know what I mean? But it's in everything, so
Not
everything is
outside.
destroying it.
right.
Everything. Mhm.
Mm.
I just
We
see
don't
men
own the seas. We
having
don't
issues.
own the seas. Yeah, we don't own the seas. We don't own things. They shut down the farmers. All of that.
Yeah.
So government owns everything. So however they want us to think, feel, act, it is what it is.
Did
So
you know this? Just a fun tidbit. Um, I have a friend that travels back and forth going home to Jamaica quite often. And I was like, oh, you know what? Do me a favor, bring me a mango back. He says, oh, no, I can't do that. I said, why?
Mhm.
He said, we're not allowed to bring any fruit, anything that's seeded back to the United States.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
I did not know that until he told me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm looking at everything that we consume right now almost is,
Don't have seeds in it.
what do they call it, genetically modified.
Hmm.
Genetically modified. That's right.
Or bioengineered. That's the new term I've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we talked about men a little bit earlier. Y'all talking about men a little bit earlier. Uh, let me see where I'm going with this. We talked about the sleeping with multiple people and things like that.
No,
Do
we
you
did.
think that? Do you think that your own species? Let me stop saying that. Let me stop saying that because I'll be saying that and I'd be pissing women off. Do you think women
Mm-hmm.
overlook men uh, with the little things that they do in relationships? So I'm asking that question because you hear all the time women say he don't do nothing, he this and that. I pay this, I do this, I do that. But then I started thinking lately, like, well, what about that wash machine and dryer that he brought in there and that he hooked up? What about that light bulb that he put up there? What about waking up at 2 o'clock in the motherfucking morning because you done saw a damn bug and you want him to kill it? You know what I'm saying? What about that drive that he drove 9-10 hours and shit like that? He do something. Give him
Sounds
that.
like sounds like
The
you're really
little thing.
passionate about this topic.
Do y'all overlook the little things that dudes do?
I say no. I think
Mhm.
Flo and I are a lot alike in that category. And I'm gonna say this. We don't expect big extravagant things. That's not who we are. It's the little things that you do that mean the most. Like,
Yeah.
um, let's say for instance, you see my car is dirty. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna come over and wash your car for you."
Or
And
you
that,
just do it.
or better yet, every Wednesday night, my trash goes out. Before
Mm-hmm.
I can even think about the trash, it's already to the curb because you've come by and picked and taken the trash to the curb for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's those little things. I think, Flo, would you agree that that we're a lot alike in that aspect?
Yep, I would agree on that.
I think we're the ones that do the more grander gestures of, um, Flo. If anybody does not know this, Flo likes to bake, and she makes dynamic cakes. Like, there's a lemon cake that oh, and there's a chocolate, and then there's this pound cake that she started making.
Mm.
Yeah, it is so good. If you haven't had an opportunity, whenever you see Flo, if y'all around, ask her to make y'all something sweet to eat. Um,
7 Up pound cake. 7 Up pound cake.
7 Up pound. Oh, you had some of her 7 Up pound cake. You had some of her pound cake.
Hey, I can't. Hey, I was just in the D. I was just in
Cake,
the
cake,
D.
cake, cake, cakes.
I was just in the D. I had to go taste some of that 7 Up pound cake.
Okay, so then she'll do little stuff like that. She does these little grand gestures. I call them little grand gestures because, like this t-shirt, for instance, she put so much thought and detail into making sure that the colors and everything are there and that it's vibrant, and she'll take her time with every little detail, including the way she packages it to give it to you.
Yep.
I mean,
Because
In
it's
the details.
fun. I
simple
like
thing.
to take care of my people.
Yeah, it's the simple things we do: cooking dinner, um, buying little gifts. Like, for instance, um, I know Flo likes candles too. I like candles. Flo, if she's been to your home and she's felt comfortable in your home, she does whatever she can to enhance that. So she'll go out and purposely look for a specific candle for you. And I'm talking about, it's not going to be something that, oh, she just picked it up off the shelf and smells like stinky lilac. No, it's not gonna be that. It's going to be something pleasant that she put thought into. She looked at it. She made sure that it fit you, every
Mhm.
down to every little detail. So,
We did that for Christmas this year, our Christmas exchange, and how I just
That's
kind
what
of
I thought.
strategic about that kind of stuff. Yep.
yeah.
Now, this question I'm about to ask, and we're about to talk about, because I know this is going to go real deep, go somewhere. I'm
Mm.
going to reference it first. So, as a no, I'm going to ask the question first, and then I'll explain why I'm asking the question. Why do you think certain men need to sleep with multiple women?
Hmm.
Why do I think certain men need to sleep with multiple women?
Yeah, because all of us don't do it. So,
I think the men that I know that do that, it's because they lack confidence. I don't know if there's something going on with their household where, with most of the men too that do that that I know of were raised in single parent homes
mm,
and they were raised by their mothers.
So they may
mm,
have seen their mom have a rotating door.
And I don't know if mom had the rotating door or if they feel defiant and that they need to express their masculinity because their mothers may have emasculated them coming up.
Okay.
And they have some issues there. I feel like in this day, age, and society, again, I grew up with AIDS running rampant,
mhm,
killing people, literally. Um, there's other stuff out here. I saw the most disgusting thing on the internet the other day. This man's whole face, including his mouth, was in sores.
mm.
If that ain't enough for you to say, you know what, let me slow my roll and let me, be a little bit more cautious in how I'm being sexual. I think men associate to sex with masculinity. They feel
The
the
more
more
they can conquer.
times, the more masculine I am. No, if anything, that makes you more of a that word that we hate to use, Reggie, makes you more.
Mhm.
So you shouldn't have to spread yourself thin.
Right.
What's your thoughts, Herb? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Herb, what's your thoughts? Herb's gonna have to unmute his mic.
So my thoughts on that is, I just like having sex with a bunch of women because I'm horny at the moment. Uh, I don't have to show that I'm masculine to have sex with a bunch of women. I just want to get my nut off at that moment.
Uh, Straight to the point.
When
Okay.
you need it.
Flo, what's your thought?
The men that I know that like to indulge in activities like that frequently really want to be with men.
What?
That's what I
Mm,
think. They're running through these women because they really want to be with a man, and they're trying to prove that they don't want to be with a man by running through all these women.
But that's those guys. That's some of
Yeah,
those guys.
yeah,
men are y'all.
I see what you say. I see where you're coming from. But those closet
yeah.
dudes and shit like that. That's that 6'5" dude that she dealt with that one day.
We don't even know his name. We called him. What do we call? We just called him Peg because I told you we good at.
Mhm.
We like to give people
No,
nicknames.
no, we called him Uber Eats.
Yes, that's what it was. Uber
Uber
Eats.
Eats.
Y'all can figure out
So
why we call him Uber Eats.
I when I came up with this particular question,
Hmm.
most times when I'm coming up with questions, I've already had a conversation with our guests, and I kind of get a feel of who they are and things like that. So some of the things that I'll talk about or we're gonna talk about just to move the podcast along. But of course, I hadn't met you, hadn't talked to you, and things like that until now. And I said, well, we have this friend. We're gonna get into the psyche of Miss Fancy Flo because she be hitting us with shit on here. We're like, you be holding back on shit. It just come out of nowhere. But I like Polly, what? And shit like that. So when I posed the question, when I wrote the question down, I was like, why is this a good question? And then I asked myself that question because I have been with multiple women, right? And I remember thinking myself, for just me myself, I'm kind of like her, what I'm saying? I love the anatomy of a beautiful woman. I go to strip club and eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and don't touch nothing but just the look. right? But
Mm-hmm.
I just love the anatomy of, especially my black women, right? The curves, all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
I had to, and I sat back and thought to myself, but why am I that way? Why did I think that way in those younger years? And then it came back to me that there was a time when I wasn't having sex, probably, you're 9, 10 years old, 11, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But my uncles were, right? And this one
Mm.
particular uncle was like a brother to me, and my cousins and stuff like that. They were teenagers and they were getting into having sex with these girls. But I'd never forget a particular day when my little girlfriend that was over, they was asking me, did I hit? And I'm like, no. And they teased me so bad that I cried, right? And
Mm-hmm.
from that point on, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to have more women than they ever will even think about having.
Wow.
So it wasn't until I wrote this question that I really took it, because I like to self reflect a lot and things like that. So I'm like, wow, like I forgot all about that. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot about it until this question came up. Like these are some reasons why. So it could be that in a lot of people situations, because when we're growing up, we older dudes are saying, "Oh, you ain't hit, you a square, you gay, and all that." So now, once you start doing it, you can't stop. It's a thing to do.
See, but again, Reggie, it went back to what we said: masculinity.
Yeah,
They, they were playing on your psyche about your masculinity, and
yeah,
to sleep with more women or to even sleep with her. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, the pressure of it all.
It's
yeah.
funny because we had a similar conversation with Keisha's son's dad. He was talking to their son, who's about 16, and he was telling him, like, once you scratch that itch, you're gonna be chasing it. So, son, be mindful, be careful. Don't start that before you need to. Like, so that's the kind of conversation he's having with his sons, now, which I think is really admirable because I don't want to put his business out there, but I get the impression that he's the type of man that's, he's very familiar with the ladies, you know. But
And also too, I think too, y'all kind of hit on it when y'all was talking about it. A
Mhm.
lot of men and women, because I want to say something that somebody taught me before, and it came from a woman. Uh, feel inadequate when you're
Mhm.
growing up in these households and stuff like that. You don't feel that you're enough. You know what I mean? So these things compensate for that. Sex compensates for that. Drinking compensates for that. Partying compensates for that. Eating compensates for that. Whatever your vice may be,
Yeah.
you're searching, and you're constantly searching to be enough for people. You know what I'm saying? Even in bed, I'm not enough, so I'm going to continue to do these things. Maybe I wasn't enough for her, but I want to get to the next one. I want to get to the next one and be enough for her. And we're always looking for that affirmation. And I said that when I was talking about a woman teaching me some things, is that I was with her, and I'm like, why women like blah, 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 blah. And she said to me, she's like, why is it that every man think that every woman know how to be a woman? We're not taught a lot of things. Sometimes if you know, then you should be able to bring that to this table too, and help that woman out. And that's vice versa. And I believe that's vice versa.
I agree. I'll to piggyback off of what you just stated. There's a lot of women, young ladies out here that are lost. Literally, they're lost in the
Mhm.
sauce. They don't know how to care for themselves. They don't know how to groom themselves. They don't know
Mhm.
to because maybe their mothers have passed away early. Maybe they didn't have a mother in their life or a woman figure that could guide them. Um, we have to be more of mentorship to those people in our everyday surrounding. There's a child somewhere. There's a young person somewhere that needs some mentorship. Um, and it might be something as simple as to say, hey, if you ever need to talk, come talk to me.
Yeah.
mhm,
It may be something as simple as, you know what, when was the last time you actually had a physical exam? Young ladies, if you're being sexually active, when was the last time you went to actually see a gynecologist?
mhm.
Something as simple as that sparks this conversation of self care, taking care of yourself both physically and mentally. It all goes hand in hand.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yes. I said it is, and it happens on both ways. I'm a school teacher, and I'm
Mhm.
working in this building, of course, nothing but women. I'm the only male that's there. And we had a situation, like I'm going to the restrooms and pads and stuff is in the toilet or in the trash, just open. You know what I'm saying? Blood dripping on the toilet seats. And I got into a meeting like, listen here, I understand that y'all do this, but I'm a man up in here. I don't want to see that. We have to come up with something. You have to hide those type of things.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that ever. You know what I mean? And they made the corrections from that. And yes, we do. We have to teach each other. We definitely have to teach each other.
No,
I'm
she's
back.
cooking.
All
Oh,
I
right.
gotta get
Sorry
out
about
of
Well,
the
that.
way.
we're going to switch gears a little bit right here. What's your favorite type? Well, I think you said it already, but for the podcast, what's your favorite type of cigar you like to smoke?
Mine is right now. It's the Django um, Jamaican Upsetter.
Okay. Those some good cigars. And that's one of my favorites right now. Now, next time I'm in your city, I'm gonna bring a couple of sticks.
Okay,
I'm gonna
let's
bring a
go.
couple of sticks. That's it. Bring a couple of sticks. Well, listen, we're at the end of the podcast right now, and what we do at the end of the podcast. First of all, thank you for coming on this podcast and
Definitely.
everything. Everybody out there, make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and throw your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to order your shirt, your Bad Bourbon and Cigars shirts, and everything like that. Listen, we're at the end of this podcast, and we'd like for you to build your own band. I don't know if you're a singer or not. However, you want to build your band, how would you build your band
Whew.
or music selection or your singing group? How would you build that?
Oh man, you just oh. Okay, so I would say on piano would be Nat Adderley Jr.
Okay.
okay. That's a new name. I'm not familiar with them.
He played a lot with Luther Vandross.
Okay.
Um, Miles Davis on the horn.
Okay.
Right.
Um, Singer male would be, of course, Will Downing.
I knew he was gonna be.
Hey, hey, okay.
Um,
Oh, that's funky already.
Female artist, I would say, who has a vast range would be Layla Hathaway.
Okay.
Mm, mm.
Um, gosh, ooh. Um, I would say Prince on guitar.
Right.
Is it elect? Does he play bass? Does he play all guitars?
He plays all of them.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
played all of them, I should say. Um, man, I did not think about that a lot. I don't know who I would put on drums. Um, drums would be like Travis Barker because he's so crazy with it when he plays. Wow. But I think that in terms of a band, just I think of more of the singers and the artists behind each um, behind each of those instruments. But Miles Davis definitely Nat Adderley Jr.
Okay.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you for being on this podcast with us.
Thank you.
This is my first time meeting you. Have such a sweet and calming, rough soul. Thank you for telling it just like it is. You know what I mean? I love that. We love that. You know what I mean? We love that. And so, once again, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on today.
I love you,
All right,
sis.
100.
Be blessed.
100.
Say what you say, boy.